Ken, they're taking over. Ken, Ken.
Look, you're converting Steph. You're converting Steph, you see. Yeah. 2 weeks ago. We're getting there.
It's just all sorry, falling apart podcast. So welcome to Monday night, a Plastic Crack podcast, season 3, episode 26. I've written down here. I think that must be about right.
Yeah. Why don't I write it down? This is guessing.
Anyway, I can't remember what day of the week it is, frankly. So yeah, welcome. I'm back from my holes, and Ken's gone off on his holes. So there you go. You're one up, one down. I don't know where we'll put that, but lucky you didn't have to see Ken in his jacuzzi, which would have been a sorry.
Steve found a comment earlier where someone wanted to see Ken topless.
Yeah, there's some very sick people on the internet.
And then he thought better of it when that mental image was burnt into his brain.
Unbelievable. No, I don't want that. So are we going to ban all comments about hot weather tonight, or are we not? I mean, Martin's in the epicenter of the hot weather in the UK.
I know. It's not fun. I'm going to see if my models. I swear that some of my models are actually keeling over, but I can't tell if that's just on a gluten wrong or they've got a bit of a lean. It's not a time to be making resin models. I did put some models out to dry earlier outside, and they went out. And I'll show you. You'll see when I put them up. But one of them's got a droopy head. Now I'm not joking.
We've all got droopy heads on days like this. The Brits are not designed for weather like this. And I know somebody made a comment on the Facebook page about what is it? 40 degrees. That's like winter in down under or something. But you're in the bloody colonies, so that's what you get down there.
I know. I've said it before as well, but I'm from the north.
Yeah,
this is mythological weather to us. 37. What?
I was fully expecting to have a camera zoomed in on a fridge with the door open and just your legs sticking out of it. I was expecting that today. Yeah.
I did consider trying to build an igloo out of a couple of packets of frozen peas, but it wasn't working.
Awesome. So anyway, welcome to Monday night, and thank you to everybody watching on Catch Up. See, I remembered. I did remember. And if you want to get along and subscribe to all our channels, all the details and all the guidance is underneath in the description on this. And when we finally get going, whack that like if you like it. If you don't, whack that dislike. I don't mind. Whatever. Anyway, lots of people in the chat. I saw, as usual. People were on within a minute of me setting this stream.
It was for Jonas, of course.
Jonas was first, and I think there were a good few others because Basement 1908 was a little bit slow as well. So there you go. The usual thing, everybody on. But it's really good to have you here on the Monday night. Let me have a look and see who's in the chat. I won't do everybody because it's already scrolled. Oh my God, why did I even suggest that? It's a really bad idea. Little Legions, Yorkshire Dragoon, John City, Lazy Pirate Painting, David Baker, Pat Neal, Benjamin, Battle Matt, Richard John, Lionheart, Andrew JF, Carezet, I can't pronounce that one. Paul's Painting Shack, or Shed, sorry. Basement 1908. Nick Games, hi Nick, how you doing, mate? Mike, Enemy in Sight, Red Steph, we saw already. Carl, Paul Crouch, John Salby, Ham and Jam. Leslie's here from Normandy. I bet it's lovely and warm there at the moment, mate. It really is. Harpingham's Seventh Son's in the chat. Hello, Seventh Son.
Hello. Yes.
And we got Benjamin and lots of other people. So welcome everybody. If I'm slow to get up to speed, it's just because my head is still in Cyprus, where I have no idea I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, we've got Paul here from Paul saying from Texas. There you go. Everyone knows why we love our air conditioning so much. 37.7 degrees, 100 Fahrenheit. How much cooler than the 45C last week? Yeah. Smug. We only get this for 2 days, then it goes back to normal. It'll be raining.
Good.
Thank God.
Anyway, how are we doing, gentlemen? Everyone happy? Have we had a good? I did see a little bit of the streams, the last couple of streams. Discussions will be had, obviously, with my solicitors. I thought Alex was an able replacement the other night.
You mean the super sub?
The super sub, yeah.
Super sub.
Yeah, we should have a bench. Definitely should have a bench for super subs to come on when any of us can't make it.
To be fair, that is actually quite a good idea.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to? What have you been up to this week, Martin? Anything exciting apart from melting?
Yeah. So, since last Monday, where we came up with the commandments, I don't think any of yours made it in, did they, Dom?
I was going to have a word about that. Yours were all wrong. Sorry, I'm just telling you that. Metal is best, and
I agreed with that.
Actually, you did put the basic vehicles, didn't you? Oh no,
Yes, yeah, that was
that one you got rid of, didn't you? No, I don't
know. No, I agreed with that. It was no. We had a couple, which was no plastic model should come in more than 7 parts.
Yes,
that which was wholeheartedly agree with. Apart from when you smashed it with a hammer when you're so frustrated, then it can come.
You wait till I show you what I've painted, and then I'll tell you how many parts one of them is. And then Robin's one is if you can count how many projects you have, then you don't have enough.
Yeah,
or you haven't got too many. I think that was the.
I like that one. That was very good. I did like.
We need to get. I think if we get them on a mug, that would be a good idea. Get them on a mug or some kind of stone tablet carved.
Dom, I don't think anyone agreed with your Rubicon one anyway. So, apart from Martin.
Actually, before we get into this, there is a really good point because on Tuesday I was chatting about this with Robin. Do you remember when I chucked up that picture of the 40k Angron model and loads of people went, "Oh, it's a bit busy." The average Rubicon kit's got like 50,000 rivets, like. Across each bit of this tie, she goes, "What are you on about?" I was thinking about this. It was like that truck that I've got looks busier than that. Anyway,
there's no need for it. That's all I'm saying. It's just no need. It shouldn't happen. Just
I know. No.
Dom, I want to see Dom put together one of those Plastic Soldier Company Shermans.
I want to see it, but only if I'm in a different fight.
Is it one of those videos you get on YouTube of people reacting to things? You just have me constantly swearing, sticking things to my nose.
It's for two separate track pieces on a 15mm vehicle.
Why?
What? I don't know. Sadism.
I mean, but Battlefront do those ones in all one piece. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I know. So hang on. So on Tuesday, I had a game of 0 to 100 hours, which I forgot to upload a picture of, but it was a lot of fun. So that one's been filmed for Battle Report. That one was with Robin. And then on Wednesday, I had another game, 0 to 100 hours, with friends, just basically really, really putting it through its paces.
You're a little bit obsessed with it, aren't you, Martin?
It does what I want from a World War II game. Because I like the movie, I like the sort of the movie tropes in it. It's a lot of fun. Plus now that we've ironed out like a couple of the more, let's say like pernickety rules, but sort of it's definitely the more maybe the slightly more complex ones, and it really, really gets into the system. And anyone who's worried about the German or rather the defending player, because it doesn't always have to, just having nothing to do, that goes out the window so fast. If you make a mistake, you have to, as the allied player or the attacking player, you have to be so clever to try and like dodge everything and to really come up with it. Because if you get caught with your trousers down, quite literally, that's it. It's up. Like the searchlights come on, the reserves arrive. You've really got to think things through. And definitely, it's one of those games where really clever deployment and placing of where your patrols are going, rather than just going, "Oh, I'm going to go around in a circle." You don't have to go in a circle. You just have to have the end points have to meet. So you could quite easily, sort of move into an area, then move back out of an area, go up a tower. If you put the patrol point at the top of the tower, then they'll go up to that. So you can really think around things and think, well, I need to make sure that everyone at some point is moving around. So a lot of fun there.
That was the bit that genuinely worried me about it. I thought I could see it as a solo game almost, but seeing your reports, I think maybe it's going to be
both games have played. Well, no, I've played 6 games now, all the way through, and I've played as allies and Germans. And in all the games, there was one where we got the rules wrong about spotting, and that one it seemed to not drag, but it took longer. But then when we realised we were playing them wrong, we played them right the next time, and within about a turn and a half, the Allies had been found, and the Germans were yelling for them to come along. So it is a lot of fun. You've really got to think about how you're going to plan your attack, and the fact that you know where the patrol routes are, and the defender has to point out where they are. You've really got to use that to your advantage. But apart from that, I'll show you what I did first. So this is the droopy model. So I did a little bit of Star Wars Legion because it's easy. And I painted up some destroyer droids. But if you look at the droid on the right, he's got a droopy head. His head's drooping down a little bit more. That's because I left him outside too long. That's purely it. I don't know why the photo was it. Now, how many bits do you think that model comes in?
Got to be one. Got to be one. Why would you do any more than one?
Steve?
I'm going to say 10.
16.
Freaks.
So you got each is the 3 legs. You got the little ball thing that its bum that comes in 2 halves, and you got.
How big is this model?
It's hang on a second. It is. Hang on. Where's the normal 28mm model? I can't find one that isn't weird. Oh, where's all my non-weird shit? There we go. Hang on a second. Let me. What I shall do, I'll do this now that we remember that this button exists. So there you go. There's the model, and then there's a 28mm.
That doesn't justify that many bits.
No, it doesn't.
It does not.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Again, it's I never ever.
What was the commandment about number of parts of a model?
7. 7.
So that should be burned immediately.
It says more than double. But anyway, there they are in their little roll. That was far much more. Actually, to be fair, they still had 10 bits. And trying to fold them into that little ball was incredibly awkward. This is one time.
10 bits for a model that big. I don't get it.
This is one time where I would say that I would just take a resin cast of that. And just go, there you go, stick it on a thing. You go,
I mean, in all seriousness, what could possibly... I mean, there is no way that model would be any better or any less good as a single cast model, would there? Surely not.
No. Other than you can use it. But anyway, I
just want to piss everybody off, don't they, really?
Yeah, they're done now. So they were a lot of fun to do once they were painted.
They look nice.
Thank you. I've only got two things left to do, and then that's the entire lot done. But after that, I decided I was going to go back and do something proper, and of course I've lost the photo. Where the hell did it go? Hang on a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Where the hell did it go?
So Alex put up, he said, so he downloaded the rules to try out 15mm, but you need a load of specialist dice and tokens. Yeah, I think it does need that.
Oh, 0-200. Yeah.
You probably change the dice, I should imagine, quite easily, but the tokens would be a bit of a faff, couldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, well, the token, I mean, as long as you had something to indicate that you've gone and that you've been spotted, that's pretty much all you really need. Everything else could just be, you could probably do without. So anyway, I don't know where that upload has gone. But I've got the other ones. But basically, I painted up some more light cavalry for my Arabs, for a proper unit for a proper size game. None of this small crap. But so they were a lot of fun. They're the Crystal Gripping Beast ones, and I did a bunch of sort of, I would say, kit bashing little conversions. So I wanted them to have lances instead of javelins, so I've put in some metal lances and then pinned different pennants onto them, and then there you go, there it is. There's the whole unit together, nice. Which was a lot of fun to do. So. I'm going to be sticking together some more because I've still got 2 more bases worth that I can stick together. So why not? Because they could just be a small unit if I'm using Hail Caesar or whatever, really. So that was my week. But hopefully there'll be some more Wars of the Races happening this week. So that was my week.
Awesome. I just need to scroll back and give a yellow card to Benjamin. No, I'm not ahead of that. And followed up by Battle Matt, who also gets one. No, just no. Just no. Excellent. Awesome. I think that's lovely. You must be very close to being able to do your one of your battle reports on.
Yeah, I am. I've just got to paint. So I've got 2 units of light cavalry for the Seljuks, and then 3 units of foot, 1 commander. So yeah, I could definitely have a small game. And then the Crusaders have got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got more Crusaders than I have Seljuks because of the lovely Cavalleo Reconquer models. So I was like, that's why I was like, I'm going to force myself to paint some more of these. But I've, from a couple of people now, I've very kindly received some of the Cavalleo, the Reconquer sculpt. So I'm working on building those out. So yeah, I think there'll be a small game coming in the not too distant future. But I want to try out Deus Vault, and I want to see how this plays. Because I didn't realize that Alessio Capital wrote this when I bought it. I'm very interested to see how that plays.
Never knew that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays, and then but also I'll be just using some Hail Caesar as well for the first game because it's quick and simple.
On the 0-200, John was asking, are there any rules for resistance?
There will be. He's already he's confirmed that there's going to be. God, pretty much everything you could imagine is coming out. A bunch of it will be online. There'll be like pretty much like he's done for other games. There'll be free PDFs, and then I can't remember. I think one of the first foreign forces. One of the first is the US. I think he's doing Rangers? I think he's doing something like that. And but then Fallschirmjäger are going to get their own release. So you can use the Germans as an attacking force as well. But no, he's going to do the resistance because basically it's not, all you need is the recruitment cards for them, and whether or not you could just have those on a sheet of paper. You don't necessarily need to have the card for it. You can just print off one sheet with them all on. So everything else I think is requisition cards and skill cards are all sorry, the heat's getting to me. You can use them for any force. So
yeah, I think that's what he did sort of indicate, didn't he? There's going to be a whole load of different factions and armies and scenarios and different. Yeah. So you could do pretty much any period or any part of the war for it, which would be good. What about you, Steve? What have you been up to with your little fan?
It's not an old palette. Well, I say not much. I did more last week than I've done in a while. So I finished something.
Hey, that is something. I'll give you that. So what are those armored cars up there?
Yeah, they're an armored car and a dingo and an armored car. There we go. Still got it right. Yeah. No, that's 36 points of O Group British. Awesome. Done and dusted, and thoroughly enjoyed every single minute of painting them. Absolutely fabulous. Yeah.
There's a cheerleader for O Group coming in hard.
Oh, he most definitely is. He definitely is Alex. But no, great. It was just a great feeling. I mean, it's not one. I mean, it's like 99.9%. To add another platoon of Shermans, and I want to add some M10s as well. But apart from that, that's pretty much everything in there that I want to use. And I even put a video out. My first one in 2.5 months.
You did.
I know. The talking hands were back.
I never
and you had to upgrade Filmora.
I did. Do you know what? Leslie mentioned I never realised I talked with my hands. He said it was very French. I don't know what that means. But no, it was good. It was good getting a video out for the first time in, say, 2.5 months. I've got another one planned as well. I'm going to be doing. Cheers, Alad. Big O Group fan is Alad as well. So yeah, really enjoyed seeing his American stuff. So I've got another one coming out soon, which is all about my love for the Rubicon American Marine kit and why it could potentially be my favorite ever plastic kit because it's just so great.
Ooh, wow, that's
but that was my week. What I'm doing tonight is I'm actually going back to 28 mil. Really? If you can remember the paints for these British infantry, which I probably don't. Once these are done, it's a Sherman, and then back to German O Group. I've got a whole new project planned for O Group. So really looking forward to that. So, but I got to wait for this weather to go away first, because painting. Do you know what? I can imagine painting a French drummer in this heat.
I think you just do what Martin did and leave it outside till it just melts.
So it just becomes a puddle. Yeah.
Yes, and then hit it with a big hammer until it's even less than a puddle. But that was my week. I did. I mean, I got through a lot, but it was just it's that feeling when you finish a set project that you've set, you set yourself to do. Very, very, very chuffed with how it turned out.
It does look great, as you say. They're just it's something a little bit different, which is really nice, really good.
Absolutely, yeah.
The models are awesome. Yeah, I'm about to launch back into a load of that, but I did. So obviously, because I've been away for 2 weeks, I haven't done anything since I've been back. But I did finish off some stuff before I went away, which I haven't shown yet. So I'll show you that. A few more Germans.
Oh, nice.
O Group. Yeah.
Very nice.
Late War Panzer Grenadiers. Illigan and a couple of Panzer Trek teams. And I couldn't leave the Russians alone, so I had to go and get a bit more armor.
Hang on. Is this what you've done since you got back?
No. This was before I went. Before I went.
That's right. I was about to say.
It was between the Monday night show and going away. No. I did say I haven't done anything since I've been back. I've just literally today gone through and sorted out some figures for my next wave of painting. But no, I haven't done anything since I've been back. This is all before I went.
Is that what we were talking about just before the stream? Your next wave of painting?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know whether it'll be next one or the one after. I've put some figures on order, so yeah, there's some back there. But yeah, though we were talking about Dutch Britannia because I was reading the rules on holiday, and I realised I've got a Saxon army already. And
I have an Arthurian army ready. Just
there we go. Then
come and see you. We can play a whole campaign of ducks in one afternoon. I'm sure.
I could easily in one afternoon. No problem at all.
I did. Yeah, they are. It's more about the campaign phase and building your little. So I even emailed the Lardies a couple. I'll have to tell you after stream, but about the potential for using a few things. So and that might be in the works as well. Nice. So I'm quite excited. So but no, it'd be cool. I have to. I just want to find someone has made a hack as well, so you can have more than 2 players in the campaign.
Oh really? Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's the one thing that put me off a bit is because often, down the club particularly, you'll get 3 or 4 people wanting to play, and it does seem to be very much a one-on-one kind of game, which is great if you are playing one-on-one.
Yeah, you can because when you pick your kingdoms, you could pick one where it'll be decided very quickly because there aren't that many places to conquer, and then you could do, for example, if you and Ken did it. And then you make Ken be, the late Romans, which would be quite fun. Then you play 2 or 3 games, get used to it. Then you can branch out into a bigger setting where you could put some different people in different areas. Ducks at CrackCon. Oh, that would be cool.
At the moment, I've got about 5 games planned at CrackCon.
Yeah. You're running the big English Civil War game, I heard.
Am I? Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Make that 6 games then. Good.
Did you hear Ken last week when he announced that he wasn't going to run a game like he did last time? He wasn't going to run a game. He was going to do what you did and swan around. And
okay, good. I wasn't aware that he'd actually run a game, but hey, that's good to know. Good.
Bless him.
Bless him. Yeah, I do fancy Ducks. I think it does look really good fun. I do love the campaign. That was the bit that I loved about it was the campaign element. I just think, wow.
That's just reminded me, sort of related. The Arthurian books by Bernard Cornwell have just actually gone into production as a TV series for release. So because we were talking about it, and funny enough, I was talking about it weirdly with my mum last week because she loves Bernard Cornwell, and he put on Bernard Cornwell's Facebook page. I should have taken a photo, put it up. Yeah, he put a release that they're starting filming in Wales next year. So if it's the first 10 episodes, so hopefully they're just going to do. It's 3 books. There'll be 3 seasons and 10 episodes, and that'll be it. And it'll be awesome, and you know, it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Please don't ruin it.
I hope not. God. I told you once I tried to get him on here as a guest after we had Harry on. I thought, well, you know, let's go and see if Bernard will do it. I had a very nice reply from his assistant saying he's extremely busy, and thank you for the offer, but he'd have to decline.
At least you got a reply.
Yeah, exactly.
That's more than we've had from some people who are in the industry.
Most people, to be honest. So yeah. Oh God, you got everyone excited about ducks now. I'm just looking at all this. Yeah, the beauty of it, I think, is just to see just how easy it is to do. Really, really good. So I have got a few figures, and I've ordered a few more. So when they arrive, I will paint them up. But yeah, because you only need about 30 figures, don't you? Something like that.
You only need about 30 figures, and then if you actually gain reinforcements, you're like the most you're ever going to gain is like six models in between games. Normally, you just get 2 back. So you either get 2 of the dead ones back, or you recruit 2 more, and it's like 2 more archers. And I suppose the biggest one is when you get cavalry, because no one starts with cavalry. The Saxons gain light cavalry, but the Arthurian ones, they get the chance of getting the heavy cavalry twice. So you can have. So I've got those. I bought the footsore Sarmatian heavy cataphract ones that are basically they made as Arthur. So because they turn up with a noble, which is basically Arthur coming along to save the day. I think the idea is that if you're lucky enough to get them, then you know, that's when you go on the offensive, because you start off defending.
I think I have somewhere in here. I have got some Arthurian cavalry, which I bought when Footsore were doing a sale, because I thought they looked lovely figures, and I've never got around to painting them. So that would give me another excuse to do that too. So I have to do a couple of yellow cards here. First of all, to Gary. Possibly more information than you want, but I'm sitting here painting, wearing only my underpants.
Lovely stuff. That's a mental
lovely vision. That is, Gary. Thank you very much. And
commitment,
Andy,
commitment.
Organising a campaign is difficult because you have to get all your ducks in a row.
Oh my word! Oh, Martin, that's what I was going to say. No, last week we mentioned on my brain on the new BattleTech starter box.
Yes.
Ash from Guerrilla Games Miniatures has done a review of it. I've not watched it yet. It's on my to-do watch list. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what that looks like inside. It's going to be quite good.
Yes, I know. I can see people. Well, we'll have to make sure that Ian has it at the shop if you haven't bought it by that point.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Gino, that's the book we're talking about. It's a series of Arthurian books.
The Winter King.
Yeah, Winter King. Awesome series. Really, really good.
Just really annoying. There was a TV program that came on a couple of years ago, just called The Winter King, and I was like, "Oh, cool! It's going to be about Arthur." Do you know who it was about? Henry VII. And I was like, no. But you're right, he was miserable. But no.
No, thrice no. Yeah. Well. That'll be a future project. So yeah, but I have decided to focus, in the words of Robin, if I can't think of the number of projects I've got, that's enough. So I'm gonna focus down a bit more and just have about 10 on the go at once. Seems to be the way to go.
Just 10.
Yeah, just 10. Yeah. And then there'll be the future projects that. No, that doesn't work, does it? No. Anyway, so yeah, I carried on. These are just some of the other vehicles I did before I went away. So a bit of armor car support for the Russians. I just noticed that that number seems to have slipped. Probably had the same problem you did. A Su 100.
Oh, nice.
That's a Skytrax metal model. Really, I realised I played the game that I put up on my channel for playing O Group against Jonathan. I realised I kept confusing the ISU and the Su. So I thought I'd make it a Su and actually use the right model. And then when I was there, I just had to get a KV2 because they're just cool tanks, aren't they? Just cool tanks. And we're going to do an early war Russian game. So I got some T-26s as well. So and Alex, no, they weren't done on the plane. They were done before I went away. Yes. So yeah, really good. I love those Skytrex models. They're really good. And I have to say, shout out to Skytrex for I know they're part of Warlords. Excuse me, on my window there because it's very loud. The cars. Skytrex delivery is fantastic. Really, really good. It comes literally in about 2 days after you place an order. Really, really good. Right. What we were going to talk about tonight. I thought I've been thinking about this for a little while actually. About sort of the sort of new wave of figures that are out there. There's some fantastic models that are coming through, and it just made me think: for if you've got a nice collection of particular army, do you ever incline to, or any of our people watching the stream, ever inclined to sort of start again, to almost throw away an old unit because it's an old figure, and then get something newer, sexier, because of the casts are so much better, or the figures, so much more detailed. It got me thinking, because also while I was away, I was reading one of the, I forget which magazine, Soldiers and Strategy, I think it was, and there was an article by Priestley, or Hale Priestley, about he collects a lot of old minifigs and Hinchcliffe figures, and he actually goes hunting them down. And I know this is quite a thing. Lots of people buy a lot of the old figures, strip them, repaint them, and reuse them. And he was making the point, in the old days, Leslie will remember this, used to, it was all about massed battalions. So the fact that the figures are all identical, literally identical, and as Rick says in this article, it's about, even some of the models he was getting had sort of miscast faces, but it didn't matter because you were doing them as a big battalion, all shoulder to shoulder, and the detail didn't really matter quite so much, and it's the sort of quality standards aren't the same as they are now. But it got me thinking, would you start again? Would you not throw away, but would you get rid of or park into a cupboard an old unit and replace it with something newer? What do you reckon, Martin? Would you do it?
I've sort of been thinking about it at the moment, but not for something that you're going to like, because I keep on looking at that new Warhammer stuff, and I think that's just nostalgia. So I keep on looking at because I do have a Warhammer 40,000 army that I haven't seen the light of day for 10 years, maybe. And I was looking at it just thinking, why have I still got this? I'm sure I could get 100 quid. I'm sure I could get 100 quid for it. There's some pretty old models in there. I was thinking, but then because someone who's going to remain nameless, but who came around my house last week with the new book and the new sprue of models and some painted versions of them, and I can't tell at the moment if it's just nostalgia that's making me want to do it, or if that's actually a project I want. So instead, what I did was I made a impulse purchase of something completely different that was chunky and metal, and hopefully it'll be here next week for me to show people as my way to get out of it. I think, well, I suppose a good example would be my Napoleonics. I don't know if I have now sold off a couple of my earlier units of my Warlord figures, because I've replaced them with ones that I've either painted better or that I've replaced with better sculpted models. I have done that because I even know it's a bit of a case of it being big battalions. I'm still not going to need that many. I'm never going to need that many, not for the games I'm playing. And I'm never going to be putting on a personal game where I'm going to be using more than 18 battalions. So I sort of did the last couple I've done a sort of a 1 in, 1 out sort of thing. And that's purely just been because I liked how the new ones looked. And the first ones that I painted didn't really fit how I then painted the rest of my army. When I decided that I was going to do it as a big project. So when I painted it as the La Haison set, I painted them very differently to when I was like, no, I'm going to take this further now, and I'm going to build this beyond this, and I'm going to take an army. I then based them differently. I put them all on 60 by 40s rather than on what Warlord wanted, which was 40 by 40s, and then some on 20 by 10s, no, 20 by 40s, which I hate. I have slowly started to replace those. That's not something I'm at the sort of I just do it if I paint one up and I like it, I'll then sell one on. Does that make sense? I think it would have to be. I've never been tempted to because say a new edition or a new set has come out, just sell the old one and buy the new one necessarily. It'd have to be something pretty old. I'm just thinking about skirmish games and things like that. I couldn't ever imagine. For example, I can't imagine just getting rid of my Burrows and Badger stuff and getting the new ones because the sculpts are that much more dynamic. I don't really think it matters so much in skirmish games because the investment isn't as high, and I guess the return isn't going to be as high.
I was going to say, I would have thought it was the other way around, surely, in a skirmish game, because you've only got 20 figures or something. To start again isn't such a big investment, and actually being that detailed almost surely is more appealing.
True. I guess so, but I guess the thing is that in a skirmish game they're not taking up as much room. Even a bolt action army isn't going to take up that much room. 18 battalions to start as a skirmish game. I know. But it's like I'm thinking of getting rid of those Carthaginian. Like I still think I put them in the. I've relegated them to the shed now, so I don't have to keep looking at them. So they're there, and I'm not going to do them. I know I'm not going to do them. It's a project that's died, unfortunately, just because other things came along that excited me more. But that's not, the question was, has something better come along? Not really. Would I do it again? Probably, maybe at a different scale. That's more likely what I would do, would be to sell something and do it at a smaller scale.
Right. But that's more for ease of storage and
all the way it plays. Like I think to replicate Hannibal and the Republican Roman armies, a smaller scale might look a bit better. I don't know, because I don't have that issue with black powder, so I don't know quite what my argument is there. It's hot. It's hard. I'm just trying to think. I think the only time I ever did it was when I was really actively collecting Warhammer. Was because that's because they were updating kits, regular kits. So you would have.
But that's part of the mantra, isn't it? For Games Workshop stuff, is that you start again because they want you to they want to update you and get you into buying more figures.
You don't really have. I mean, apart Warlord are now doing it. They update their kits. Yeah. So I've seen people get rid of their British and buy the new British, and then swear about the new British and wish they hadn't got rid of the old British. Or for example, I consider getting rid of my metal airborne and getting the plastic airborne. Right. But then I sit there and go, I can't be bothered. But Warlords are starting to do it. So I think unless the manufacturer is bringing out a updated version of that kit of that specific thing, I can't really see that I would do it. I mean, if, for example, I don't know, but then I do get your point about the Perry, like about mass battles, because you just want units.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was thinking about it. I mean, it got me thinking, because I was thinking, things like our friend at Offensive. I mean, some of the modelling he's done of some of those Napoleonics are absolutely amazing. But to your point, do I need any more battalions in my armies? So to replace what I've got, I don't like selling anything. But I'm thinking, well, actually, I could get rid of that unit because that one never performs on the battlefield anyway. It always has the rottenest luck in the.
Well, you change your dice.
I do.
Horrible, man. That's not happening.
Yeah, no, you were quite shocked by that. I've never seen you quite so shocked.
I can't. I would believe that of Ken and possibly Steve.
What's the difference?
I've done it once because I had never seen dice rolling like it.
I could not believe. Yeah, I can't believe that. I don't know what it is. It's just it's not. I thought you. I didn't think you were like that.
I have different dice that I know that just if I have feeling that these will always throw low and these will always throw high. So again,
that's gonna, when we have a game, that's gonna.
I'll always go. I tell you what, I'm not playing if I have to play. I don't mind rolling in the little dish, but I'm not.
Oh yeah, no, in the dice tray. It's got to be in the dice tray.
I'm not.
No. Well, I couldn't believe that. I genuinely thought because Ken has this habit. He knows he does it. He does it to wind me up. He basically stacks dice like poker chips, and he sits there and he kind of like clicks them, and it irritates me because I'm sitting there trying to do something, and all I can hear is click, 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 and I look up and he's looking really smug as he's about to do something. But yeah, I imagine him just changing dice to aggravate his opponent and throw him off. But yeah, I thought better of you.
Sorry. Yeah. Unashamedly, I changed the dice. I don't mind. No, I think it's great. Some great comments coming in on this. I think people have. I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Oh God, where's the comment? There was a brilliant one here about somebody having a cooling off period amongst their club mates. Here we go. Peter says, my group have bought armies off each other when members are trying to sell them, then keeping them for a cooling off period in case they change their mind. I love that. That's a brilliant idea. That's a really...
I would... Imagine that with Ken. I was about to say, though, the thing is like with that ACW guy, imagine if he got back in contact with Ken going, oh, I've changed my mind. Too late. I've traded it for something else. It's gone, mate. It's gone.
Oh, dear. I think
that army you sold me 3 weeks ago, yeah, it's on its 7th new owner now.
Oh my goodness. Alex says no, he's still using his 15mm Germans and Soviets from 30 years ago. Now, that's an interesting thing, Alex, and I don't know whether anyone else, because I was thinking about this and thinking, well, I still use my old 15mm Napoleonics, Ancients, English. I don't use English at all. I've got them all, and I would use them all again. I have no issue with. Well, I don't really have any issue with any old figures at all. But I don't even think twice about replacing 15mm because it's a mass. They're from 3 foot away. You can't really tell a huge amount of detail on them anyway. So, but I don't know if it's a scale thing or not.
But would now say someone was that they had a stall in front of you, and on one stall, for example, you've got I don't know the Perry's latest release, and then on the other one you've got minifigs. Which one are you going to get? If they're the same
depends
price,
what the price is like, to be honest.
Oh, no, it's the same. No. If it's the same thing, if it's the same kind of unit, for example, I don't know, just some, I don't know, rifleman. It's a unit of riflemen. Is that because obviously the style has changed? Would you now go no? Now that they're out, I'm now gonna just
Oh yeah, I'd buy the nicest, newest ones every time. Absolutely, I'm not that bothered that the fact they don't fit in. I've never had an issue with whether things fit. That doesn't bother me at all. I've got in my 15mm, particularly 28mm. I got figures from all sorts of manufacturers and never bothered me in the slightest. So no, I wouldn't care. And in fact, I have bought because we were doing a few General Dame 15mm Napoleonics, and I realised they didn't have any sort of figures that were singly based or double based that I could use as skirmishers. I bought a whole load of just cheap 15mm figures off eBay to paint up and do for that, and didn't even think twice about going to find whoever I don't even know who does the sexiest 15mm Napoleonics these days. It was just whatever were reasonable price that fitted in with the right ones I wanted. Some Germans and some British and some French. That's a weird one. What about you, Steve? Would you start again if you saw something prettier and nicer, or are you your heart true to the figures you've got?
That was my plan with like Martin mentioned before, when Warlord released the new British infantry.
Yeah.
To replace that really old kit with the old men in it. But I was under the now mistaken viewpoint that they were going to be updating the entire British range. I didn't realize it was just going to be that core British infantry. So there was still the Vickers machine gun team still quite old. The medium mortar team still quite old. They're all metals. So I decided that was going to be my initial plan, was to sort of just replace the old British infantry with the new British infantry, and then slowly sort of replace them with what I thought was going to be an entirely updated range. But it didn't happen that way. But I don't sell miniatures, and I don't buy secondhand miniatures. It's just something I've never. The only time I'd buy secondhand miniatures is at the moment I'm looking on and off looking for classic Games Workshop 90s figures, because I really want to start playing Warhammer 40k second edition again.
Steve, can I interest you in a Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Army with some classic missions?
No, I mean, it's literally...
This is turning into a Ken again. What's going on?
All I need is a few character pieces. I've actually got two. Well, I've got a small Space Marine army, and I've got a Cadian Imperial Guard army that I'd never actually ever used, but I painted quite a lot of it. But I only really want to play small games of second edition 40k. But the idea of replacing an army en masse just because new figures come out, I don't know. They're my figures. I mean, like with my bolt action Germans, I'll repaint them, I'll update them, I'll give them a new lick of paint and some new basing. But I wouldn't replace them, if that makes sense. I wouldn't just go out and say, right, you guys are all. You can go, but you're going to get replaced with some nice new shiny equivalents. No, I couldn't do that. But like Martin said before, though, this new 40k box is the nostalgia for me is strong.
I know.
This is strong.
I didn't do it because I knew you were just going to swear at me if I did it. But when Rob, I was having a look through the rulebook, and I got to say, as rulebooks go, it is a lovely, lovely book.
Yes.
All right. I like a rule book. Okay. And it doesn't matter if that game is good or bad. If it's a well-produced book, then I'm, brilliant. Good. I'm in. That's half the, you've won me over pretty much. The game can then suck and then I won't get it, but I'll still keep the pretty book. But yeah, they are nice. The kit is very, very nice.
I can't remember who it was. He put a picture in the Facebook group for me and you to look at, and I just
I clicked on it, looked, and then just closed my phone. I closed the tab. I was like, no, stop it.
I sent that picture to my mate, and I just said, why couldn't these have been released years ago? These to me are what Heresy Space Marines should look like. The scale, just everything about them is just so good.
The worst thing you can do is what I did. Sorry, Dom, because I know you have no interest in the horror.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine.
But the worst thing is that I then went and looked at Pete the Wargamer's channel, where he shows you how to, because his conversion and kit bashing skills are amazing.
Yeah.
And I was looking at how he was then taking those already very, very nice kits and then just taking them that step further. That was a mistake.
Yes,
that was a mistake, because the next thing I was on eBay looking at, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just buy a sprue. Like, I think this is what Robin did. Sorry, Robin, if you're speaking for it. But I think Robin went on there and just, bought a sprue that someone was flogging. But that's how it starts. And, and I think that it is something that I'm going to do, but I'm going to wait for there to be more stuff out. And in that time, they may change my mind, or Bay Games Workshop might go bust, and then I won't have to do it. That's my my thinking. Bearing in sort of a random thing, have you guys seen all these videos that YouTubers who do a lot of Warhammer content have been doing at the moment, talking about Warhammer YouTubers are killing Warhammer, or Warhammer is killing?
Oh yeah.
You seen all those?
I've watched a couple over the past sort of week or so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I follow Games Workshop stuff, but I've watched a couple of those.
It's been everywhere.
The one that I've seen a couple where people are saying that a large proportion of their content is Games Workshop, and when they do a non-Games Workshop video, no one watches it. Just nobody will watch it because it's not Games Workshop.
Try building a whole channel on it.
Welcome to our world, eh?
yeah. Oh, it was just sitting there like thinking. I was thinking about commenting. It just sort of go. Yeah.
There was one of those. I think I can't remember whose channel it is. It's probably not fair to mention it, but they did a similar video about how they love all these Mantic games, and every time they did a Games Workshop thing, they got loads of views, but the rest of the time they got nothing, and they were trying to do it as a business. He wasn't working, he was earning money on the channel, and how it's demotivating. So I think the point was quite correct. He was saying it's quite demotivating because he knows that if he just does anything on Games Workshop, he gets thousands of views. If he does things on he really wants to do the channel on, and what the channel's built on, he gets barely any, not enough to survive, basically. I did actually put a comment, welcome to historical content. We dream of the numbers you get for your non-interesting games, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? I suppose it's different if you're trying to run
if you're trying to
pay for your mortgage and all that.
Yeah, so bite size. The way around for me when I do a GW related vid on this channel, gets nowhere near the views. I can imagine that if I was to put anything 40k related on my channel, it wouldn't go down very well.
It's about audience, isn't it? It's like everything. I mean, our channels are known for whatever they, people know if they want to know what they need to buy next, they'll go and watch Martin's channel. If they want to know, see how to do field grey, they go to Steve's. If they want to watch somebody just blusters around from one thing to another and doesn't know what they're sticking on, they'll watch mine. So
it is interesting because thinking about it and the content we do, because this idea that as he said, that if you just put up a GW video, all of a sudden you're going to get 20,000 views in like a week, unless you give it some kind of really clickbaity title, like I don't know, God knows what actually, it won't, because I think, and this is probably a bit of a generalization, is that a lot of the people who watch Games Workshop videos will watch those videos and think, oh, you're just trying to be like these guys, and we just watch these guys anyway because they've got the big studios, they've got the the big things. So it's but do you think that if historical wargaming had those big historical wargamers had big studios with lots of flashy stuff, would it make a difference?
No, I don't think it would, but I think there's a degree of you see it scaling within Warlords, don't you? So if you do bolt action, for instance, you get a lot more views. You tend to do Black Powder, you tend to get a lot more views, and you do some of the more obscure rules, you're not going to get as many views. So it's a smaller scale, but you'll see the same. I see it on mine. I know I do a bolt action game. It isn't very often. You get many more views. Many more views, but I think it also depends on what your channel's focused on. And people making the point about algorithm. It isn't just Games Workshop, but it is also the algorithm, and the algorithm knows that people are watching Games Workshop videos. So you put Games Workshop as a tag on your. When we put Games Workshop,
Games Workshop.
See how many more views you get, even if it's got nothing to do with Games Workshop. We'll see what happens. It's an interesting one. I don't know. But then again, I think that all comes down to that. I would say it's all that thing about why you're doing your channel. Is it just because you want to make money out of it, or is it because you really want to do what you love?
I honestly think running a wargaming YouTube channel as a living would be absolutely terrifying, because you are wholly dependent on other people for your very livelihood. If you have a bad month, you have a bad month if the views aren't there, or if your content just doesn't connect with your audience. I mean, you'd be on edge all the time, constantly.
Well, I mean, look at our friend Mel, Terrain Tutor. I mean, he had a period of bad health and couldn't do any videos. And he was struggling to pay the mortgage and pay for all his costs and everything else. And, that sort of stuff is serious shit. So, yeah, it's a different scale, though, right? It's a different scale. I don't know how we got onto that. How did we get onto that?
That was my fault. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think it is interesting, and I have watched some of those videos myself, and I thought, it's you can see it even even at my scale. YouTube way bigger than me, but I
wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I was dependent on people for clicking views and paying if the thought of other people paying my rent and being dependent on other people, forget it. Absolutely forget it. No way. Absolutely
no. I think so too. I do think it's interesting though, isn't it? It's about I mean, you two have talked about this quite a lot with your channels about you get known. Steve, you were known for bolt action stuff, and you started to do other things, and we're nervous about whether people would actually take to it, doing some of the,
Turnip 28. I debated for weeks about whether I was going to put anything like that on my channel at all. And luckily, it was quite popular. You know, there are more weirdos like that, like me, out there than I realised who love that kind of stuff. But I've done one Burrows and Badgers video, and it bombed. So I will never. I know you shouldn't put videos on, you know, just for views, but when you take it, is that happy balance of spending the time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say. So, would you actually? You actually don't actively do. You wouldn't actually do a video because you know it won't go down well with your punters, so to speak.
Not that. Sure. Yeah. No, go on, Martin. Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, sort of off the back, say Stringways are patrons are the bread and butter for the large channels. Donations in chat can be good, but you don't understand why subscribers pay so much for some. Yeah, I was watching a live chat the other day, and someone donated $50 in like some kind of super chat thing, which you know, absolutely fine. Your money, do what you want. But I was sort of sitting there thinking, I didn't get it. I think they got. It's a channel I like as well. It's a channel that I watch and enjoy. But I was like, wow, that's a lot. But yeah, that would be awesome. But
I feel understand when people give a couple of quid or something. That's sort of, you know, that's like less than the cost of the beer.
Well, Alex has just said it, which is pretty much to say it's about supporting that person and making sure, you know, and giving them the support they need. Which and then this is a very supportive community, whether you're doing 40k or bolt action or Wars of the Roses or turnips.
I think if someone was, if someone said to me, "Oh, $50," I don't know. One, I wouldn't be very comfortable with someone giving me $50, and two, I'd rather. I know it sounds a bit. I'd rather give it to charity or something. Give it to something where someone get a bit more benefit out of it. I don't. My channel isn't, and it's. I mean, I think we were talking to Alex about this in the week. It's not about money for me at all. And if it ever became like that, I don't think I'd carry on. I really don't think I would.
But I know, I mean, Travis, I know, has quite an active Patreon community, doesn't he? And he uses, I know, the money he collects to upgrade the camera work, the camera kit, and the software he uses, and even buying extra figures and what have you. And it sort of almost finances his channel in terms of making it better. And we all admire the rig that he has set up with his cameras and everything else, and how he does stuff. And you know, so it does have some benefit there. That's for sure.
That's true.
That's very true. Yeah, trouble is, you give him, he'll keep talking. You give him a Bailey's, and that'll be it. You'll never hear the end of it. Jesus. Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I still don't know how we got into that one. Anyway, second way starting again. That's what we started with, wasn't it? I'm interested though, the whole sort of, because I don't have that sort of. I guess that sort of memory of a particular period of gaming that, like Games Workshop 40k or Warhammer or whatever, that it sort of always intrigues me that people want to go back and buy. You know, it's like me thinking, right, I want to go and buy a whole load of Mike's models, 15 mils, because you know, years ago they were the thing. I've got thousands of them in the cupboard there, but you know, it just seems a weird thing just to sort of think, oh, I'm going to go and buy a load of old figures just for memory's sake.
Yeah, but again, I guess it's also it makes me laugh when, and I'm not bashing GW channels, but when they're talking like paint a whole army in a week and there's like 20 models.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, not be. I'm not going to say they're going to be the best painted models anyway, but you're like, okay, once you've knocked out, you know, a brigade, or you've painted up some bloody hussars, that's you know, so. I think that's part of it is but then also those games are more, what's the right word I'm looking for? I want to say list-driven, character-driven games. The fantasy and sci-fi type games where you have these sort of, a lot of the models that get the upgrades are sort of special characters, or, you know, if someone releases like another sculpted Napoleon, it's just, here's another Napoleon. But when it's a fantastical creature or character, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, not necessarily better, but bigger and bigger. And you know, some games prescribe base sizes and things. So if you want to use that character and you want to use up-to-date rule sets, you need either the new model or you've got to put your tiny old model on a massive base. That would be something that would bother me in casual play, I guess. But it's a lot of people do like tournament play. And it wasn't there. I can't remember. Was there a? Is it GW that have a rule about old models? Or I might be making that up. There is a company, and I can't remember which company it is, but they're effectively they've got like a cut-off for tournaments for like older models in their game. I don't think maybe it isn't GW. I don't think
so. They're forcing people to buy newer models.
Yeah, I don't think it. Maybe it was. It might have been Privateer Press.
I just don't understand. Well, I do understand the logic. They want you to buy more figures, but why would you? It's like that whole business about games. It's Games Russia, isn't it? Where you can't go you can't compete in some of their tournaments if you have figures from other manufacturers in your own.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of the stores won't let you play if you have Forge World figures.
Oh, you got what? Yeah, but what?
Yeah, some stores will not let you play with Forge World figures in store.
But aren't they the super expensive ones that are sort of sub licensed by Games Workshop?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and they won't let you play. I mean, that's just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. I don't get that at all. Yeah, I think it's a weird thing. I think actually Don has a point here, which I think is probably a fair point. Actually, he says because historical gamers play historical periods, not just a specific game system.
Yeah, good point.
If Black Powder just went away one day, historical gamers would still play that period. And I think you're right, Don. I think you're absolutely right. Although, I was thinking as I saw that come through, I was thinking, well, actually, I'm guilty of throwing away a rule system effectively that I love playing just because it's no longer supported, inverted commas, and then changing to a new one and complaining the old one was better. I'm not playing it, so I don't know. It's weird. And then I suppose the thing back in the day, you used to have to rebase everything as well when you change rule systems because they're all completely different.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's the thing, though. That's something I do. I'll change the rule system to fit the bases. That's what I'll do now. That's just not gonna. See, I did think at one point about rebasing all of my 40. So I did think about rebasing all of my 40k stuff onto multi bases and then like just using like some bastardization of Black Powder. Like to have like, or I just thought it'd be fun. I had an old orc army, and my friend had an Imperial Guard army. I thought that'd have been quite fun. I'll just use Black Powder.
Anybody else feel this is a counselling session for Martin on GW?
I feel like I need.
Going back to it.
I know. I just want talking out of it, please.
Is that Robin's influence? Is that what it is? Are we blaming Robin?
I know. Yeah, basically, yeah.
I think for me, it goes back to my sort of early days of gaming in sort of 91, 92, playing the original Rogue Trader, and I've so many good wargaming memories from gaming that game back then. I know things have moved on and the company's got bigger, but there's just a nostalgia about it. That's why I still read some of the really old Games Workshop books, like Inquisitor and Chaos Child, and
as I've often found out, and as I discovered when I rewatched the TV kids program Nightmare, nostalgia was just best left as nostalgia, because when you go back to it and when you rewatch it or when you read it, and it turns out actually it was a steaming pile of poo.
It wasn't the best, really, was it?
You're left with nothing but regret and questions. Kind of like a night out with Ken in Derby.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's. I'm genuinely trying to think if there's anything like that I would actually desperately want to get back into that I missed out on. I mean, there were plenty of figures back in the day that I thought, oh, I wish I had those in my collection.
Yes. I always preferred it when they got their mate killed. They were like, they clearly had enough of him. They're like, he's not listed 3 steps forward, and he just falls off a cliff or something.
Although that's when you find out that your mate can't tell left from right at a really inopportune moment, as he falls, as he careers headfirst into a chasm.
Weird.
It's hard. I mean, I guess. Well, also it comes down to. I mean, it does come down to. I mean, Black Powder's on its 2nd edition, and it's been out for 12 years. I think 2 editions in 12 years. I think 2010 it first came out, didn't it?
Mhm.
It was their first book, wasn't it? Hail Caesars is next up, I believe, for its new edition. But then they're not even really new editions. They're not really changing systems, are they? They were tweaks. They were just enough tweaks from those supplements. So, and that's the thing with historical war games. You don't see the same level of changes to rules and additions as you do in fantasy and sci-fi games and those list-driven games. I mean, Bolt Action's on its second edition. Flames of War's probably got the most. That's on its fourth. By far, it's already coming up to their second. That's you don't see that. And then with those come new rules, new ways to play. You have to buy the cards. You have to buy them. Malifaux's on 3 or 4. I loved that when it first came out, and then hated it like as soon as they started. But you don't have that in historical wargaming, do you? Really?
No. Paul says 40k, one rule book. World War II, 200.
Yeah,
150. Napoleon's 250 plus. I think it's probably more than that, mate. More periods, more rule books. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that's the nature. That is probably the biggest difference, I think, between Games Workshop type games and I'm grouping other things like Mantic, not that I know an awful lot about them, compared to historical periods, is because they generally, much as someone like Warlord might love it if it was completely, they were tied into just one period and you only ever use Warlord figures for them. Nothing like that happens in history at all. You just don't get that. The rules change. Different manufacturers come along, support it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, I don't think the historical community, because it's as we've always said, it's a niche within a niche, isn't it? So you don't want to, if Games Workshop can afford to pee off people, because there's far more people who are into that than into historicals, whereas you don't want to. There's a couple of rule sets and games we talked about before, haven't we, where the creator hasn't been quite so, I don't know, gracious at the fact that people are actually, playing and buying his game, and therefore ends up with a bit of a lower audience share and people aren't buying it. So Games Workshop don't have that problem. But yeah, it all comes down to, I guess, presence on the market. So
is it also partly, do you think, to do with the, careful how I say this, but sort of the age profile of the Games Workshop prime buyers? Because it seems to be it's generally a younger audience that buy into it, and generally, as we know ourselves, you go through a bit of a hiatus of gaming. You play for a period, and then real life catches up, and generally you have to do other things, and then maybe you come back to it again. So the nature of people who play Games Workshop games tend to be younger. They tend to be only doing it for a certain length of time before they come back, and then whereas historical gamers tend to stick around a bit longer.
I think you're right. Yeah, it definitely has an effect, and you're right, probably a big one. You've just got to look at the way the marketing goes now. GW, when it releases a rule set, and now War Machine are doing this, they release like a 3D rendered cinematic of the models. Like the Horus Heresy, the one that come out, the guys that are fighting in it are the renders of the models that you're going to get in the box. So yeah, if Warlord Games maybe did a little animated thing for Waterloo, I still don't know what the sales for that's been like. I know everyone keeps the Warlord say it's very good, but I'd actually really like to know how that went. Waterloo, that set, I'd be very interested to know, because as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of it's the new, has it died down now? The sort of around it.
I don't know. There's a couple of wonderful pictures.
A bit
later on. I mean, just on the sort of. Obviously, none of us really know how well it's done, but just on the sort of noise factor on the interwobble on Facebook pages and what have you, I would say it's still pretty high. There still seems to be a lot of people doing various things. But I think, obviously when a new system comes out, completely new thing comes out, you get a lot more excitement. A few months down the line, it always slows down. But I'd love to know how many more people. Yeah, you could do that. It's true. I'd love to know how many people are buying into, because what are they up to now? The Prussians are out at the moment, isn't it?
Prussians are out, and they've just released the commanders, so there isn't a whole lot left. I don't think. I think there's like guard, cavalry, and some other bits. But then people are going to be clamoring for whatever the next step. Because it was October. It's October would be when they're going to do the release. If they keep to that schedule, they do one a year. So what would it be? Would it be ECW again, or again rather? Would it be ECW, or would it be? Or
will it be Romans? I don't know.
It'll be something mad, like, oh god, I don't know. I can't even think now. The brain's dead.
No, I know when we were trying to sniff around for information, we did hear that ECW and Ancients were the next couple that they were going to do. And I know lots of people, I see Alex is just saying Leipzig and Borodino, and other people are saying Austerlitz. They're not going to do that. They're doing battles that people know, basically. So they've done Gettysburg, they're doing Waterloo. Unfortunately, Borodino and Leipzig are just not in the public consciousness as much as
it should be.
As it should be, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think they will go and do Carney or I don't know, Edge Hill or something like that, because they're ones that are more. More popular.
They'll be missing a trick in. I know we talked about this. It's probably gone over all ground, but Ancients with Romans on those, guys with shields on those strips. It's got to be a no-brainer. And if they don't want to produce too many, just do the Roman Civil War. You've got both sides in one sprue.
Yeah.
So
easy peasy. Yeah, and you can.
I just can't paint those figures. I cannot do it, and I've tried. I mean, Lord knows I've tried. In fact, I even painted a strip of the Napoleonic ones just to see, as a sort of a personal challenge, whether I could do it. And
so why is that? Because you're having so much fun with your Second World War 15 mils, and these are just about 15 mil. So why?
It's because I don't see them as figures. I just do not see them as figures. They're playing pieces. They're not figures. And
objects of hatred.
Just to say that. And it's the same pose over and over and over and over, and it hurts my brain painting. In fact, I'll try and do. I painted this one sprue of Napoleonics, and I finished it, and I thought that was hell. I never want to do anything like that ever again in my life. I'll try and dig the photograph out, because it was just, it wasn't play. If someone said to me, right, do you enjoy that? No, tough shit. You got to paint another 150 of them now. I'd be like, what? No, it's just not for me at all.
It's funny because I've almost gone the other way, because I'm thinking, well, I've really enjoyed doing these 15 mil, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I've got a couple of sprues around here. Maybe I'll do some of those Napoleonics, and I'm thinking, why not? Maybe I'll be the same. But I should do it, and then
I tried it just because I don't like being defeated by something. I mean, rigging those windy boat ship games. I won't be doing that again. But I generally like to try as much as I can. If I don't like it, I won't do it again. If I do like it, I'll carry on. And I've painted some of the American Civil War ones. I will admit the American Civil War ones are about 10 times more interesting than painting the Napoleonic ones.
Well, really?
But they're even simpler, surely.
No, at least the American Civil War ones have got a bit of variety to them. I found the Napoleonic ones just absolutely mind-numbing to paint. I could not paint them.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to have a go at them just to see what they're like. I mean, I did some cavalry, and they were all right. They're okay. I'll do something.
I wonder what they're going to do. I mean, the thing is, like, if they do, like, for example, the English Civil War. I mean, what would you need? Pikes, musketeers, cavalry, heavy cavalry in like
Dragoons.
and then some dragoons and some commanders and cannons. Even less than you do for the
It would be equivalent to a sort of Gettysburgy type one, wouldn't it? You probably, because you could have the same, you could have basically the same sides, but just do them different colours, which seems to be their kind of mantra. So you don't even need to paint them. Yeah, I think it'd be dead easy. I wouldn't be surprised if ECW is the next one.
So if they did ECW, it'd be Naseby.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would argue Marsden Moore would be a better one, but it'd be Naseby because Naseby's the
one that's better known. So
but if they did do the Romans, which one would it be? You got the Caesars, you got Alesia, you got the siege of.
I think it would be something like Boudicca's rebellion.
Yeah,
because then you can have a whole load of hairy ass.
Or Cannae, you could do. Is Cannae big enough in the consciousness? Hannibal.
Yeah.
Elephants and that'd be quite cool, I suppose, at that scale.
Elephants would be really cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but then I'm not just going to get. I'm just curious as to like once they've done the sort of the big ones, where I don't say.
Will they? Would that if it has sold well? Do you think they would then come back in almost backfill? Because it wouldn't be much to do to turn Waterloo into a peninsula.
I think they would go away and do another set. So, because I think they need to do one that's not black powder, because both of the two that they've done are black powder.
Yeah.
So, and then after black powder, Hail Caesar is their the next best-selling one. I know that people want Pike Shot, but Hail Caesar is they already said was their sort of covers the widest range of periods. So. They could go and do that, and then all they got to do is release army. But they could do a peninsula thing by just releasing an army box. They don't have to.
That's what I'm thinking. They could do one of their special resin jobs, or even metal, and just add a couple of some Spanish or something, or some Portuguese. Well, you don't even need to add the Portuguese. Just paint them a different color, pretty much. Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. It will be interesting to see whether they go into completely new, or whether they try and backfill somewhere. But
then this is the question:
Leipzig or something? I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, but then that's like the question. So if they do ECW, would someone who's got a 28mm collection lob that to just buy that? Because I wouldn't. If they do ECW, I'm not going to get it because I've got a 28mm one. That's why this is the reason I haven't done Epic. Which, and I understand why people. Danny's world. I completely understand why people do Epic. I get it. I understand it. But I would only want to double up if I wouldn't double up. I'd only want to get something that I haven't already got. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to for the amount of gaming that I do, and I think that I game quite a bit.
You do,
and it's still not enough time to get everything in. So I don't really want to double up on a period to get double the amount of time I'm not gaming with it, if that makes sense.
No, completely. Well, that's kind of why I didn't bother in the end to go big into Epic Napoleonics, because I thought, much as I liked it and I love playing Napoleonic big games, I've got thousands of 15mm. I don't need any more. So I've just added a few sprues here that I will use because they just about fit in fine with the old 15mm. Actually, a good shout from Benjamin. Hadn't even crossed my mind, but it's a good point. Honestly, think it'll be Epic Agincourt. That could be that'd be a Hail Caesar, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be Hail Caesar. Yeah, that'd be
very well-known battle. Lots of different, fairly simple sprues as well, because you've only got fairly minimal sort of classes of troops, effectively, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, also as well, the Joan of Arc models that are already out for that are beautiful. They would probably fit in very, very nicely, but Warlord would obviously be able to produce more for less. That'd be a good shout. Spray everything silver.
Yeah, he's dead easy, wouldn't it? And Bren asked the question: do you think they'd ever do World War II Epic? I can't see them bastardizing bolt action. Can't see them doing that. Be surprised. I'd be very surprised. I think
it'd be.
They wouldn't want to take people away from bolt action, which is their main bread and butter game, isn't it?
That's Miller's just sort of set in. How would you do bowmen on a long strip? You'd have loads of them sideways. That's probably what they'd do. It'd be like those bloody 6mm. They'd be on the wrong, which is what they do with the cavalry, don't they? They just have them facing. That's probably what they do. They just have them facing that way, and then you just clip them off and turn them. I guess.
Oh, it's interesting. Oh,
Cromie in war, balaclava. It's a good shout. Paul.
Yeah, it's another good one.
Charge a light brigade. You could almost do it 1 for 1.
I think somebody mentioned Rock's Drift. You could finally do your Zulu project, Martin.
Zulu project's going to be starting soon, actually. So it's that's going to be big. Yeah, but then one side's only going to have like 100 men.
I know.
And they're not going to be on strips, are they? They don't. You can't have them.
Yeah, but they can do all the British in sort of
just do it for
twice the price.
It's unwilder. You could do that, although that doesn't really fit with their. I remember that interview he gave where he's like, we want to do like good. Britain probably do one of the British Army's greatest ever defeats is probably not high on John Stallard's list of things to do.
Yeah. If I to throw my hat into the ring, I think the next one will be Ancients. I don't know why. I just think it's going to be.
Yeah, I do too. I think ECW or Ancients has got to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, probably logically, as you say, Martin, I've changed my opinion. I didn't think ECW, but I'm thinking more Ancients because, as you say, that's their second biggest seller.
Yeah. And they don't have the, I see more people being interested in the Romans or the Greeks or whatever than the English Civil War, rightly or wrongly. I think if you slap a Roman on something,
don't listen.
A musket with us.
Don't listen, James. I'm going to say, I think you're right. I do think you're right. Okay, I think we moved off the topic beautifully now. Shall we do a bit of news? I don't know whether there is any news. I haven't got any news.
I got some news.
I've got one news. I think that's all I've got.
Your news is going to cost me money.
Well, I think you showed this last week, but I just showed the whole complete set. So we always show Reconquest figures because they're just amazing. These are the 3. So these are the next lot. I know you showed one of them. This was a Glee.
They're basically double-handed. They're some kind of Spanish troop with almost like a Dacian Falcons kind of thing, but but also you can just get them with double-handed axes or double-handed swords, and they're basically shield breakers, line breaking troops.
Is it me or the third from the left? He looks like he's a fast-paced bowler. Just that position.
That's true.
They're lovely figures. I mean, really, really good. I mean, they're going to be. I don't know what I would use them for, but they might sneak into my basket at some point. And then there's villagers as well.
Okay, my God, I hadn't seen this one.
Yeah, this is all part of the next month.
Falcon, look at the Falcon.
It's just awesome, isn't it? Just absolutely unbelievable. The work.
I didn't download that. Bugger, hang on, have I got that picture? 1 second. The one I sent you, because I know people have asked, does he do other stuff? And the answer is he does sculpt some other things. There it is. Bear with me 1 second. But he does do other bits and bobs, doesn't he?
He does.
And
hang on,
let me just
ACW figures, yes.
Right, hang on, that's me.
Oh, that's you.
That's not Ken joining, don't worry.
No, we don't. God, no. He's involved in that ACW Kickstarter, isn't he? I was going to grab that picture and I forgot.
Yeah, I've got it because I sent it to you going, "Oh, have you seen this?"
I saw it and I nearly clicked. And then I thought, I'm never going to do 3D printing. I'm just not going to do it.
No. It's there it is. Right, hang on. Oh God, what have I done?
That looks familiar.
Yeah, that's
there it
what
is.
He's done.
So look, he's done Custer.
Oh,
yeah.
He's done Custer. So he does do other things. So he said as well that he's done some. I need to find. When I was talking to him, I need to find out where he's done it. But he's done some World War I cavalry. So I'd just love to see what he'd done for them.
I mean, the man just walks on water, as far as I'm concerned. He's just amazing sculpts. Doesn't matter.
Do you notice how he's adding contact points now for the horses? You've seen that, like with the flowery bit. So he's got contact because you were saying about it. So
that was my one frustration. So the fact he's doing that is brilliant. That's really good.
So
So that is part of a bigger Kickstarter that's got a whole load of American Civil War figures. SDL files.
Sundered Union.
Sundered Union. So if you're interested, go and have a look at Kickstarter.
I think they might even have their own rules. I think they might even have.
Oh, do they?
I think so, but don't quote me on it. I got a couple of bits, not masses. We've got Great Escape Games sold out of their Dead Man's Hand starter box. They're completely sold out of it, but they've put together a new kit for £35, which you will get all of this. So the only thing you don't get in this is the dice and a bit of scenery that you got everything else. But this is a decent start set. I mean, for £35, that's basically a whole game, and that's a 2-player starter set as well. That's and I think I can't tell. They were talking about mixing the sprues, so you get one of the female gunfighters and like 2 of the male gunfighters or something like that. So they're still up on their website. So anyone who's thinking of getting into Dead Man's Hand, but what he did confirm is that they're doing 1 box a year, a starter box each year. It's just that this one sold out so quickly it didn't get to the end of the year before it's released. So they are there is going to be another starter box coming out. Sorry, I've just seen something.
I'm not gonna say it out loud, but it just made me laugh.
Anyway, if you're thinking of getting into Dead Man's Hand, this deal's done there for £35. I think that's still a bloody good deal for a good game. Victrix have shown off some more of their renders of their ancient horse archers. Coming up, and Dom, you like a horse archer, don't you?
I love a horse archer. I think just amazing figures.
They're very, very cool, aren't they?
I am going to be heading into an ancient army again next year for sure. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I've got thousands already, but look at those. I'm just dripping.
both figuratively and literally.
And figuratively.
I'm a little bit annoyed. I don't know what's going on with the photo uploads. It's just not uploading it. Anyway, that game that me and Ken played, which I keep forgetting what it's called, Conquest, they've released a new two-player starter set for the skirmish version, which a lot of people seem very happy about, and it had the orcs versus the undead Romans in it. I can't remember what their official names are, but it looked quite good value. But the picture hasn't saved. But they did release some new looking dwarves, so I put them on here for Ken, but of course Ken's not here, so I'll show them anyway. So there's some.
Oh, nice.
Now these are
amazing.
These are like 38 mil or something like that. They're massive models.
So they're not dwarves really; they're big uns.
Well, they're dwarves by the standard of the game, because if you think if they're like 32 to 38 mil, then the humans are like 40 mil, and so they are biggies. But I like these ones. I really I thought Ken might quite like it. So the game seems to be honest, but they released after a lot of player feedback, they've released like a second edition of their skirmish rules, but it's free. You can just go and download it. But they've also released a starter box with 2 armies, the car, all the normal jazz, but it hasn't saved. But we did have a lot of fun when we played that. And the final one, now this one, I'm putting this up purely, but basically for Warren. So I was casting my eye around and I saw some people, so Weird Miniatures, who make Malifaux. Now, despite what the fact that I don't like that game anymore, they do make some very, very nice, interesting miniatures. And for all you guys that do the OPC challenge and all of that, I can just see this coming along. That's their version of Red Riding Hood.
That is just so.
What on earth?
I don't know why. So Warren, when you watch this mate, I think you've got to get that, because I can see the kit is called "Off to Grandmother's House We Go."
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that's coming out from Malifaux. I mean, that's something. I mean, yeah. I just leave it there. I don't really.
That is some next level widget.
Yeah. But yeah, all I could think about was Warren. That's it. And grandmother, what big sprues you have. And Daniel has just Gavedos R38mm, those doors.
Jeez, they're amazing. I mean, I've no idea. I wouldn't ever use them. That's the problem. I'd see something like that and I think, that's just amazing. I'm just going to buy them and paint them and then just sit in the drawer for ages. So I'm not going to do that. No. That's Ken in the dress, right? Depends how many Baileys he's had, really. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh, and of course, we should probably say we've still got a few tickets left, haven't we?
Oh yeah, let me have a look. How many we got left? We have 4 tickets left, I think.
4 tickets left for the Crack of Doom. So if you're on the fence, then don't be. You should step into the Crack of Doom and purchase a ticket. 15th of October. We've already got a sort of a rough idea of some games. We've got everything from ECW. I believe James is going to be doing Blood and Plunder again. If he isn't, he is now.
He is.
And there's going to be Burrows and Badgers. It might even there's been the idea of maybe someone's. I think it's Paul said potentially put on some Slain. I might do 0200. ECW. I think there's going to be quite an eclectic mix this time. So yes, please do. There's 4 tickets left. Come along, buy them. We want to sell out, as in the tickets. We sold out years ago when we monetized our channels.
Did I tell you we've had a suggestion for CrackCon 4?
Oh God,
Crackageddon.
Crackageddon. I love it how we're not going to be able to. We can't use the years anymore because like the first 2 is like CrackCon 2021, because now it's just because we don't know when it's going to happen. It just has to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be like Death Wish. There's going to be so many. Like,
jeez, it's a scary thing. Also asking when do we want the games? I think we're going to put a list up. Or you're going to put a list up for the coming weeks anyway. It's October. We got ages away, but
we said that last time, and I blinked. Yeah. The next thing you know, it was tomorrow.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, obviously, if you want to put a suggestion down of a game, then please do put it on the Facebook page. Link in the description if you aren't already a member. How many are we up to? 600 and something or other.
Yeah, we're closing on 700, and we obviously you got links to all our channels below. Come like the Facebook page, answer Dom's questions free, and just come on in and share what you're doing because there's loads of stuff on there in a minute. It's fantastic.
Oh God, yeah.
There is masses. Okay, brilliant. Anything from your side, Steve? Anything you've seen? Apart from you looks. You look like he's just melting.
I'm going to do a quick live check on the insanity up here. Let's have a look. Oh, praise be! It's only 29.
Oh, what are you moaning about? It's not even 30, for goodness sake. Daniel's asking, anybody going to Historicon this weekend? I would love to do that, but unfortunately, it's the other side of the pond.
Yes, unfortunately. This weekend, it's only Monday. I haven't even finished thinking about last weekend. Don't know what's happening this weekend. Paul was
still
just
time to fly over then, Martin.
CrackCon 4 Exposed. That's the behind the scenes documentary.
Oh God, no.
They don't want to see what really goes on behind the scenes. For God's sake, no.
No, we don't need that.
Oh dear. Oh, and thanks, Carl. Yes, please hit the like button if you're liking it. That would be really appreciated. And remember, all the links to the channels are down below and all that kind of good stuff. Right. Shall we do a few viewers' pictures?
Yes.
And then
yes.
I've got a very interesting topic from Ken that I want to go back to because it made me chuckle.
Ken?
Not our Ken.
Oh, real Ken.
Real Ken. Proper Ken.
Real Ken.
So again, some of the pictures that people put up on the Facebook page, thanks for everyone who does. It's just awesome to see everyone's work. Just a selection here. So let me find this one. This is Tony's, more of his Austrians.
Nice.
Amazing job.
Oh, wow.
So I think that was all caused by CrackCon 2. He won a whole load of Austrians in he ran a whole load of Austrian cavalry, I think, didn't he, in the raffle, and then proceeded to buy hundreds and hundreds of infantry to go with them. Awesome job he's doing with it. I don't know what this is, guys, but
that is cool. It's
trio of some sort, I guess.
It's like a tree lord for the Sylvanet.
Sylvanet, I think. Yes.
If you say so.
But it's very cool. But you see, I would use that in. I mean, it's a lovely model. So, but I'd get loads of use out of that for things like D&D or Frostgrave, that kind of thing.
I imagine it's a pretty big model, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. Awesome. Some more weirdness from Stephen. Oh,
nice.
Lovely.
Oh, wow.
That's some classic fantasy there.
He just paint really bold colours. I really like what he does. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what it took me with that one. I thought I just love the colours. Really, really good. I must get back to do some more Landschnicks, remind me. Nutcase Sean showing off some of his Crusader stuff with all his hand-painted shields.
Yeah, that's just insanity, Sean. Insanity.
He's a madman. Really, really good. Maybe I know he's planned to do 40 mil ACW.
40 mil ACW, yeah. Yes.
Which should be really, really cool at CrackCon. But I was suggesting he could bring his Crusaders along and give you a bash at that as well. Well, it'd be Crusaders against Crusaders, wouldn't it? Talking about epic stuff, so Reese put this up, which I was really impressed with. All conversions. Nice. So he's converted a whole load of them. So he's got Dutch Belgians, some sort of landwehr there, I think, at the back. And you can see the models down below. He started to, basically modify each of them, which is awesome. He said in his post of the picture, he said it's not just 28 mil that you can kit bash. So there you go, epic kit bash, awesome.
Very
figures.
nice.
Really, really nice job. We got Mark started off his Somerset faction.
Lovely.
All the roses, really good, really good. Oops, I lost the page. There we go. And we had a bit of sensible pictures finally on the Facebook page. Bit of windy boat game appeared.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I might have. And also, I think I might not be. He might be bringing this to CrackCon, so I might be having a game. Does he? I'm not opposed to playing it.
Yeah, just painting it.
Or I just look at that and all I see is pain. Like I see it. First of all, I see a beautifully painted model, but all I can think about is just swearing and just it's just. So
he did say this is the brig, and he did say it was a bit of a ball lake to. Well, he didn't say ball lake. That's my words. But he found the rigging a little bit tricky. Shall we say much harder than the frigate. But yeah, lovely job. And then Joe also has been doing his. I mean, just brilliant. I have to say, seeing these two pictures, I'm thinking I must get mine back out again and have another game. It's a really good system. I really like it. It's really good fun.
Don, can I just answer a question? Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, Steve. You can kit bash epic. I'm gonna respond with my stock answer to this. I'd rather listen to the Smiths. So yeah.
So that's a maybe then. Okay. Paul showed off this thing. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic.
Just extraordinary. Just extraordinary. Really, really lovely model. I don't know what it is, but it's brilliant. Other end of the scale entirely, Phil showing off his modern British. That is awesome.
They're nice. Who manufactures those, Phil? Who makes them?
I don't know.
Are they
Empress or someone like that?
I think they might be Empress, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they're Empress. You can tell us if he's on. But they look amazing.
Yeah, they're lovely.
And then Ken showing something slightly different again. I'm not sure we've seen much of 18mm ECW.
Yeah,
very nice.
Some parliamentarian cavalry, I guess.
I was about to say they're in the wrong colours, but they're lovely.
Very, very nice indeed. And this sort of base of ACW, sorry, that's the New York, was it State Volunteers? But he's done it as a kind of almost a diorama, that base.
Yeah,
I thought that would appeal to you, Martin, particularly.
I really like that.
Just
very,
awesome,
very
isn't
nice.
It? Just a real.
I guess it's a cool. I love the mounted colonel.
Yeah,
That's
really,
lovely.
really good. James was showing off his first game of General Darmay, which he said his Prussians were well and truly trounced. But he was saying he wasn't too sure about the rules. He wasn't sure they were any better.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people say that actually on it. There was someone else who said that last week as well on there. So it's definitely a system I want to try. Maybe it's just one of those Marmite kind of.
Yeah, maybe it is. I mean, at the end of the day, there's 250 different rule sets. You can try another one if you didn't like them. So nice. Felix is at it again.
Yes.
He's got the O group bug. He'll have that entire force done in a couple of weeks, I should imagine, knowing how quickly. I mean, people say I paint quickly, but blimey, Felix doesn't. He's got holidays now as well, so it'd be nothing to stop him. He's roaring for his figures. Look at that.
So what I mentioned this about O group. People making their own battalion HQs when you don't need to. I just think it's such a great.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't need to add it, but it's a bit of a change from the smaller bases doing something bigger like that. I absolutely approve.
Yeah, me too. And
Alex, do you just have a shortcut to that? Because that's what it's
a default setting, isn't it?
F9. Yeah.
Bash. Talking about Alex, he showed off some of his
nice
Russian terrain. I think this is a Russian terrain. I love this stuff. He's done some amazing. I've just invested in a whole load of 15mm printed stuff because of Alex. This is just amazing. Really, really good. Our friend Don has talked about Epic again. He's just finished off Hood's division, the entire Hood's division in Epic. That's a lot of troops.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a lot of figures right there.
Yeah, it certainly is, isn't it? David. Now this was another CrackCon 2 infection. Is that the way?
Yes.
He picked up a sprue of Landstecs and wasn't sure whether he would enjoy or be capable of painting them. I can confirm, David, you can paint them. They are very, very nicely done. Lots of colour. Look really, really awesome. So I think I think because he played Ken's game, didn't he? I think yes,
I think that was a bit of Inspirado.
He's got a bit hooked on that. So one that we can't blame any of us for. That's really good. Lovely Jeep from Anthony. I love this. Really, really cool. Really, really
That's
cool.
Lovely. Really nice.
Not sure the manufacturer, but looks awesome.
I think it's Warlord.
Is it? Okay.
I think it is, yeah, because he's.
Yeah.
I dare say I'm going to be fighting against that in the near future. No, I'm pretty sure it's Warlord.
Cool. That's your picture, so I won't show that one. This is Andrew's first go at doing some Greeks.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Really nice.
Always nice.
There's
Very
nothing
cool.
better than a shield wall of Greeks, I think. Really, really looks good. All the different transfers and what have you on the shield's really nice. And to finish up, David showed off his refight of Law Heath. And I love that.
Very cool.
Isn't it?
It's lovely. Good battle as well. Often forgotten about, but it was but it's one of the fun. Well, I say fun battles. It's one of the ones that had like a proper cavalry charge in it. Well, it's just that the tissue kept his the Lancastrians kept their force mounted because they thought it was going to be over really, really quickly. So they did a bit of it. They did a cavalry charge, and then the Yorkists basically they formed a sort of defensive line. They even made a laager with some wagons, and then just shot them. And then the part of the Lancastrian army decided this isn't going to go well, so they just started killing Lancastrians. So, some of the men were like, "Hang on a minute, this," because the leader was killed. The Lancastrian army, Audley, was killed really, really fast in the battle, and then the guys at the back of the Lancastrian army went, "Hang on a minute," so they just started killing the guys in front of them.
Awesome.
Wasn't the roses? Wasn't the roses? Dude? Like, what else?
That's what goes on, isn't it? And
Exactly.
anybody want to see Matthew's pussy? There we go.
I think what's fair about what are you doing?
I don't know, actually. I'm a bit concerned about what I'm doing there, but I mean, I could get in trouble with the YouTube police for that action. So that's his cat. He's very impressed with the stream, obviously. What impressed me more that people have started to put up other pictures of their cats all in various reclining stages watching the thing, which reminds me very much of Alex's cat rolling all over his games every time he plays, which is
my cat doesn't come in. My cat is for once actually sitting next to me down here, but that's because I've stolen like the best fan in the house, and the cat has worked that out, so he's come and like just camped out down here.
Awesome. So the other thing I was going to ask about this, looks like Dom had a furball. Yeah, it's true. I did. It's probably all this talk about GW tonight on my stream. Jeez. The other thing that made me chuckle was Ken was talking about, not our Ken, the other Ken, sensible Ken, not sensible
Real Ken.
Yorkshire Ken, was talking about we go so far with our reenactments of games and what have you. What about smell in a game?
Yes, I did. Yes.
And I wasn't necessarily thinking about smell, but is there a point? And it also got back to thinking about that video we were sharing amongst on our own little chat with the glory kill.
If anyone, yes, that was amazing. That video, that made my day. That video.
You'll have to put it up on the Facebook page because it just, I roared with laughter when I saw that.
Yeah.
Because so basically, it's a bit of an in-joke, but there was a video of a madman doing, trying to bring to life a driving game with all sorts of, and various computer games actually with real life effects around it. And there was a thing called a glory kill, which was I think it was playing Halo or something, but a massive explosion into his face, which was very, very funny. Anyway, got me thinking with the smell and that was how far should we go to improve the experience on the table? Is there anything you do to? Because at the end of the day, we spend ages doing terrain with lovely figures and then trying to play out a game. Would you consider going a little bit further?
What, you like filling the room with smoke for Black Power? just let off, just fill the room with smoke and let off a fart bomb, so it just smells like smoke. Yeah. If it meant I would win, then no, exactly. I have that so far. Did I win my last game? I did win my last game. Thank you. I think against Robin, I won, didn't I? Robin, did I beat you? If you're watching this, I think I did.
Mind you, I think that's kind of a throw up between the two of you. Who's going to lose the most? You both seem to have the most incredible luck and ability to do the wrong thing at the wrong time.
There's no win. Actually, yeah, Robin loses just for calling his cannon lucky. Did you see? No, I'll talk about it later. But no, you could do 40. I mean, we kind of do it in a way, don't we? When we start adding in things like, like if you're doing like a campaign and you add like notes and things to the commanders and stuff like that, and
characteristics.
It becomes a bit more of a role playing game. That's when things become slightly more like that. But could you add in some effects? Some people put on. I've seen people use sound effects in like display games before. I've seen that.
We used to, whenever we played X-Wing, we always put the original trilogy soundtrack on while we were playing because, well, it had to be done. You just immerse yourself in a lot more Star Wars. That'll be interesting. As long as no one decides to like fire blanks at me when I'm playing ball action, I don't think I could cope with that.
Shaco says if you're playing with Yorkshire Gamers pipe blocks, you're already using blood, sweat, tears, and a healthy amount of exercise. You need anything else? It's true. I don't know. I mean, it's difficult. I know for us when we're doing videos and recording the games, you can't really put music on it because you end up getting copyright strikes all over the place because people claim all the music. But I always think it would be kind of fun to have really sort of martial music going on in the background as your Napoleonic battalions roll forward and all that kind of stuff.
You just got to know where to look, Dom. I'll have to send you to the
obviously. I had got one, and I still got a copy strike on something that was supposed to be from a free thing. And it's like, well, it wasn't. It was just a copy warning, you know.
Yeah. Well, we did it in a way. I like cutting in like little bits of films here and there when something appropriate happens, because if it's less than, you know, if it's free, you know, it's fair use if you're using it in a transformative fashion. So so like when Haley managed to pull that charge off with the Scots Greys, I just had to go and nick that bit from Waterloo, didn't I? Or when she blew up the bloody bridge, I had to go and find. That was like one of the only. I had to go through. Someone has uploaded all of Sharp onto YouTube, but they've done each episode in 10 parts, which means there's about 500 parts. So I had to go through and find Sharp's Eagle and find a bit where they blew up the bridge just for this 2-second clip I wanted to put on video, so I could copy it. But I'd be quite up for it. Like, I suppose if you did if you had a game actually at like a reenactment, like they're just in the Tewkesbury thing. I think someone was playing Nevermind the Billhooks there. That'd be quite cool. Cause you just smell horse and armor and hear people screaming and probably children crying. That was probably a common sound. I think it would be a laugh. It'd be good fun. You could do it with, if you drank period specific drinks.
Oh no, that would be very funny, wouldn't it? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's all a bit extreme, but you know, things like I always think when you go to conventions and shows, people put a lot of effort into the games and often have really nice backdrops around the game to make it look really special. But we don't. I'm speaking for myself, I don't tend to do that if I'm going down Farnborough on a Friday night because it's more stuff to lug. But do you think that kind of helps the game, or is it just
having a backdrop?
Or anything like that just sort of, I don't know.
I mean, yes. I mean, if you were in. Yeah, the smell. I mean, I guess if I'm going to imagine that the Perry's war room smells like whatever period they're depicting. You know, clearly, that's it. You know,
that's got to be the first question when we get them back on. Is what does your smell like?
I think that better be the last question.
I was going to say, how long do you reckon to be sticking around before they develop internet problems and quickly vanish?
It'd be just really like I guess like if you're surrounded by that sort of like they've got helmets, haven't they, and replica stuff, and they've got originals as well because they put them in all the rule books, don't they? If you see like in the races from the Perry collection, so I don't know. Yeah, that would definitely enhance the gaming experience, I guess. Done reenactment food from the 17th century. Never again. Sounds like dinner around my in-laws.
Bully beef and tea for World War II, lark's tongues and dormice for ancient Romans. Yeah, I don't know. It just it appealed to me. That I mean, I know he was taking the mickey about having smells, but it just sort of we do so much to make our figures, kind of, and our games look really nice and authentic.
Yeah.
How far do you go?
Well, there is. I mean, I went up on my first 0200 hours battle report. I was having a joke with Leslie about like playing in the dark because it's going to be at night. But then someone said, "What about like bathing the room in like red light?" And it's like that could be quite fun if you're not filming because the camera would have a fit trying to do that. It wouldn't know what to do. That could be a bit of laugh. I remember when we used to, like, when we were younger and didn't have families or kids and things like that, and we would play tabletop RPGs. We did a lot more stuff then. So like we did like a Modern Spy one that was basically a bit of a rip off of 24, if you remember 24. And so we had like a clock going in, a digital clock going in the middle, and everyone came in like suits for that one, because it was like, we did them as like one-off things. It was a bit of a laugh. And then we swiftly realized that we were going to go to university, and that wasn't going to fly. But
what about the smells for a Turnip 28 game?
Oh God, can you imagine?
Just be like, I could just like just some kind of horrible soup with some mud.
Yeah, be like rotten parsnips and do you want my brain can't even think of anything at the moment.
I was going to put this up because I don't.
Windy Boat Game and loads of rum.
And then an industrial fan at the side of the video.
Like, watch. You don't need to have the counter anymore for which wind direction. Just put the fan.
You just need to. You have to go watch this video. I'll put it up in the group, even though it's about computer games and not things like that. Because even though he's been given the money and told, just do something with this, they had to tell him to scale it back a bit because it was too dangerous what he was doing. So I just seen yes, Alex, thank you very much. That's I don't know if you've seen that. The red light's burning bright tonight, 22 the Avenue. Yes. Yes. What about flicking theatrical blood at each other? Fine, get it on me, just don't get it on the model.
Don't touch the figures, whatever. Yeah, whatever you want. I mean, I was just thinking. I may have mentioned this before, but apologies if I have. I forget. Those things, the vision things that used to have. You used to see them at golfing tournaments and things where people could look over the top of the crowd. One of the periscope type. You know that there was a fad for a while of using them in games. So you sort of get down to ground level, and you could see what the vehicle or whatever could actually see, and it changed the whole perspective of the game. I mean, it took forever to play, but at least so you bring somebody in and say, right, have a look at the battlefield from your vehicle, and what can you see? Now go and write your orders, and then come back in and we'll play the game. And you'd use the orders that you. In those days, everything was about writing your orders before the game, but it was kind of really fun. That kind of idea was kind of fun.
You could do that, like in messages, like writing a little message to take down to the. I mean, maybe you'll have to do that in your ECW game because you're going to have like quite a long expanse along the side.
About this ECW, I know nothing about it. Miller, talk to me. I don't know what's going on. I've been roped into something and I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
Dom, I'd heard it on very good authority that you were actually running a Turnip 28 game at CrackCon 3.
I think you may have confused me with another Dom. That's what I'm going to say, and you'll be hearing from my solicitor.
Another Dom.
Another Dom.
Bad Dom. That's the Dom. That's the Dom that comes out in the evening.
That's bad Dom. He doesn't come out until special occasions and after a couple of beers. That's it. No more.
What about a bit more fermented herring? Ooh, the smells of Turnip 28.
I mean, Gary said here he played a Stalingrad game 15 years ago with his eldest son, and each of them dressed up in replica uniforms, and I awarded him an Iron Cross at the end for blowing up 3 T-34s with just his bare hands and a pair of dice. Yeah, I mean, I think, you can get a lot, depends on what uniforms you wear, you can get an awful lot of trouble. But that kind of thing, does it bring a lot to the game, do you reckon, dressing up?
That sounds like a plot from a Sven Hassel book.
Oh dear, oh dear. Still getting to this is maybe I shouldn't have headed down this route. It's very bad. All right, well we're almost at the end. Let me do it again. So thank you to everybody watching or catch up. If you managed to get this far, you're a better man than me. Well done. Who's on next week?
It's meant to be Ken.
Meant to be Ken, so it won't be Ken. So who's the backup? We'll let you know in the chat when we know.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, you look like you're just melting, mate. You just not going to happen, is it?
A good time. I don't know. A good time. And it's meant to be.
Hang on. You look like. Hang on. I'm going to try and. Come on. I'll show you. You look like my cat who's just lying. Look. Collapse in the door.
There's a dead cat in your doorway, Martin.
Ted, no, he's with it a little bit.
That'll be me later. Honestly, I don't have the words. I do, but I can't repeat them.
Yeah, it is. I know everyone in the Southern Hemisphere is probably laughing their head, in America or laughing their head and saying, "What do you mean it's hot?" It is hot. We don't do this in UK. It just doesn't happen. It really is hot.
Dom, you've forgotten to do something.
What's that, mate?
That we do every week. That Ken's going to pick you up on straight away. Catch up.
I've already done that twice.
Have you?
I've used a minute, and I did it a few minutes ago as well. Yeah, I've done it twice.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've done it
right,
twice.
okay.
I did it right at the beginning, and I just did it just about 10 minutes ago.
That was 2 hours ago.
You were busy trying to look at your pussy too much. That's the problem.
Fuck's sake.
Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching.
It's his channel. It's fine.
It's my channel, so I'm fine. I thank you very much for joining us as ever for the Monday Night Fun and Games. It's been great to be back on it. I have to say, I was looking forward to doing tonight, even though I've been away for a few weeks. So thanks for watching. I hope you all have a great week. I hope you get your projects done, and we will see you again next Monday. Ken's channel. Hopefully.
Yay.
Stay safe out there. Cheers, boys.
See you, everyone.